Assalamu alaikum and a very good morning. Welcome to the first episode of our podcast, Voices of MGSEB, a platform where we will explore ideas, insights, and innovation at the intersection of business, leadership, and education. I'm Prof. Azizi, your host, and I'm truly honored today to kickstart this journey with a very special guest, someone who has turned adversity into opportunity more times than most. So let me introduce Tuan Haji Akhma Ismail, fondly known as Mr. Turnaround, who had rescued and revitalized numerous companies over the past 2 decades. Now he runs his own consulting firm, AQM Consulting, helping others to do the same. So we are thrilled to have him here to share his wisdom. Welcome, Mr. Turnaround.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for joining us today. Apa khabar, Tuan Haji?
Alhamdulillah. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you look great, and I'm excited, but a bit nervous as well. So to make our session more lively, joining us today are a few lecturers and our MBA and DBA students, a few coming from Kuala Lumpur. So many more will be joining us online. So Tuan Haji, I have a long list of questions here.
Sure.
Which I have divided into several segments. So without any further ado, let's get going. Bismillah ala barakatillah. So my first question, Tuan Haji, you have been called Mr. Turnaround. How did that nickname came about?
Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone, and a very good morning. And those from Kuala Lumpur, thank you for joining us. I'm not quite sure when, actually, but I believe it was during the second major turnaround. It was CTRM. Because by the time I joined CTRM, I was already turning around 4 companies, and including CTRM, so the 5th company. So I guess one of the old friends coined the words, actually. So yeah, that's basically.
Okay, thank you, Tuan Haji. CTRM is Composite Technology Research Malaysia Sdn Bhd that specializes on aerospace, right, Tuan Haji?
Yeah.
Okay, let's go to the second question. So can you share the story of your first major turnaround experience and what made it succeed?
Sure. In total, I have involved in like 4 major companies. When I say major, I'm talking about 200 million and above. Yeah. This one I'm going to quote Alamfora. Alamfora previously, because they have been acquired by another company, belonged to the RB Highcom Group. So I was part under what they call as group managing director's office. Alamfora was having a management and operational crisis. So it was all over the place. The thing about Alamfora, because they are operating within Klang Valley, so they were in the news on almost daily basis. When minister passed through Kuala Lumpur and saw dirty area, unclean area, then normally they don't call us, but then again, they go to newspaper or reporters, that kind of thing. So yeah, everybody was a lot of pressure. I was parachuted to lead the turnaround. The funny part or awkward part is that because Alamfora, as a company, they have their own CEO, they have their own CO and so on. So for you to come and suddenly lead this team is a bit awkward. But then again, being part of a group, we have the so-called group thing. So everybody know the direction and the objective. So yeah, we work together. So it was good. It was a good memory for me. Fast forward 1 year later, Alamfora become one of the main contributors to the RB Highcom. We increased revenue by 10%. But the best part is that we multiply the PBT, profit before tax, by 3.6 times. So it was a big news in the RB Highcom. And that particular year, Alamfora won Best Improved Company for the RB Group.
Wow. That's quite a big achievement.
Yeah, Alhamdulillah.
Okay. So what actually drive you personally to take on companies that are struggling or on the verge of collapse? Not many people love to do that.
Yeah, that's a very interesting story actually. Uh, for all of you, I came from straight, which means that I do not have tertiary qualification immediately after school. I have to do night classes, diploma, degree, and master. So there's certain element in me. I need to prove something. In the beginning, it was just a test. I was sent by this is way before the RB time. Yeah, I was sent to a problematic company so that I can turn around this small company. It's a very small company, 20 million, something like that. But at the same time, because I'm not like most of you who study university after college, so I need to prove, and I also believe that for you to be able to know how far you can go is keep pushing your boundary. So you keep pushing your boundary. So in the beginning, it was just a test, but after a few turnaround with the RB Highcom, especially company like Alamfora, CTRM, you can see every turnaround company getting better, company can pay bonus better. So it benefits a lot, especially the lower level people, the workers. In the case of Alamfora, those who sweep floors, that kind of thing. So they were very happy. So after that, it became a mission for me to keep doing it. But after a while, I became addicted to it. I explain why I say addicted. This was during CTRM time. We pushed a company from, okay, I'm not going to mention number, but it was big number. Then we have signed, if you check later on the internet, we have signed about 7 billion, you're not wrong, 7 billion worth of contract. And then we are doing very well. But I was bored. Nothing else to do, just producing that kind of thing. So yeah, I was addicted to it.
So you are looking for a bigger challenge after that big turnaround job. So basically, how do you keep the fire burning to continue doing this challenging task?
Like I said, after a while, because turnarounds, unlike a typical CEO role, if you are good at improvement, so you focus on improvement. But turnaround is basically you have to, not to say master, you have to good at most of the things. You have to good with process, system, dealing with people, communication especially. So yeah, that's pretty much it. Then it's somehow when you solve complicated problem, bigger problem, there's a sense of satisfaction in you. So dealing with problem is like not bragging, yeah, almost like routine.
Okay.
Yeah, a problem become smaller somehow. Yeah.
So you get used to it and you
I
enjoy
answer the
it.
question.
Yeah. So we are done with the first segment.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the second segment. I call it as the turnaround playbook.
Sure.
So in your experience, what are the most common signs that a company is heading toward trouble?
That's definitely a good question. Of course, you have the opportunity to study and then review the financial number and go to facility. That would be very, very good, especially to the board. But then again, to those people outside, the sign is quite straightforward actually. If you observe the employee, if you give they give a sign of on their forehead, this is my language, I don't care. If you have that I don't care attitude, when they speak to you, they have no emotion. The fire is no longer the fire is no longer there. They come to the office just to do their job, whether it's correct, it's not correct, it's not a problem. It's not a problem to them, and then leave office. The next day, when they came to say this is wrong, okay, they will not complain. They just keep doing it as if there's no emotion, as if they are zombies actually to some extent. So if you have that, I'm talking about people from outside, not the one who have access to document and report. Yeah, it's time to turn around.
Raji, you mentioned zombie. It's like a movie, which to me sound very interesting. Can you explain a bit more what is zombie organization is all about?
Yeah, no, the thing is that because I've gone through the process. Um, in fact, few companies. Number one, there's no increment for that company like 7, 8 years. No bonus, no exciting program for them to make them to come to office to work. So they come to the office very much for the sake of salary. They cannot resign, go somewhere else because probably there's less opportunity. So after a while, you see this a group of people coming, clock in, do their work, 5:30 sharp, go back, and as if what happened, as if improvement. Don't talk about improvement or initiative. It's not going to happen. So yeah, I call it zombies. Even when the CEO say, okay, we lost certain million, certain percentage, it means nothing to them. The objective of the company or vision of the company means almost nothing to them. So that.
But they come to the office.
But they come to office. They come to the office because of the salary.
With no feeling.
With no emotion. With no feeling.
No feeling, no emotion.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Okay. What's your typical approach in the first 30 to 60 days when entering a struggling organization? But before that, I want to ask you, I think many are still confused, the difference between turnaround and transformation. So you explain a bit about the difference between the two, and then, then share with us your approach in the first 60 days.
Approach first or definition first?
Definition first.
Definition.
Yeah.
Okay. Transformation not necessarily company in a bad shape. They're probably not as good, but they're still hitting the number. The money is good, profit is still there, but they probably have they probably projected something in the future. Change in technology, change in demand of customer demand. So they need to gear up their organization so that they can accommodate the demand or they can capitalize on the new trend. So that is transformation. So it typically you change technology, you change sometimes the process to make sure it's simplified from, say, for example, hands-on, probably using online, that kind of thing, so that you when that wave of new demand came, you are ready to tackle or to capitalize. So, and like I said, it's not necessary they are in losing, but turnaround is totally different scenario altogether. If I can point, it's like the water is here. You almost cannot be. You have to, So turnaround is about you losing big, big money. A company losing like 3-4 years in a row, and then you do not see the plan of improvement from management. CEO seems lost. Management is all over the place. Communication breakdown, silos, work culture, something like that. So it's a very serious environment. If you don't do that, basically it's just a matter of time. Company will collapse.
Okay. Either to transform or to turn around a company, I think you need to gain trust. And to gain trust, you need to create the quick wins, while you are planning for the long-term strategy or fix. Okay. So how do you balance this quick fix with the long-term strategy?
Okay. Good question, by the way. In any improvement in the past, I normally divide. I'm going to put aside quick win first. Yeah, I divide the improvement into three categories. Let's say 3 categories. Category number 1, because you remember, when a company in a turnaround mode, everything is limited. Resources limited. People who are your champion, your so-called flagship, above average workers, they already left the company. Remember, you are in that position. It's very tight. So you divide your improvement into 3 categories. Category number 1, anything that does not involve money, zero cost, you do it immediately. Improve in your communication, improve in SOP, improve in work process, anything to do with that, You do immediately. Whether it's low-hanging fruit or not low-hanging fruit, it doesn't matter. Just do it. Because this one does not involve asking money from top management. It's just you arranging, you brainstorm with your people. Okay, we're going to do this first. Those, especially those affected the survival of the company or image of the company. Number two, anything that involves little money, you list down based on priority. You do it. Yeah. But the third one, normally, inexperienced CEO say, let's go to this change of technology, which costs money. Normally, I will push that to the back as much as possible, because sometimes, most of the time, when a company in turnaround mode, they have issue in cash flow. Cash flow negative, they have utilized all the financial facilities. They start, if you have a group company, you start borrowing from the parent company. So, if the quick wins or low-hanging fruit come later, it will be categorized based on priority.
Okay, thank you, Tuan Haji. I think we have learned quite something. The difference between transformation, turnaround. There are a few keywords about zombie organization, and the keyword of the cash flow, low-hanging fruits, etc. So now we're going to take a very short coffee break, 1 minute, and then we'll come back.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Saya Wan Nofana Liana binti Wan Muhammad Salim, merupakan pelajar Fakulti Keusahawanan dan Perniagaan tahun ketiga. Apa yang menarik tentang fakulti kami adalah kami diterapkan dengan elemen-elemen keusahawanan seperti menyertai program-program bersama tokoh-tokoh usahawan yang berjaya. Dan jika anda ingin tahu, apa yang menarik adalah UMT menyediakan pendaftaran syarikat siswa kepada pelajar yang ingin memulakan perniagaan. Apa yang menarik tentang SSU? Okey, SSU ada dua benefit, iaitu akan memberi pinjaman kepada peniaga mikro, dan yang kedua akan memberi mentoring dan coaching secara percuma kepada pelajar yang ingin memulakan perniagaan. Jadi, jika anda minat, jom sertai FKP.
Okay, guys, welcome back to our first podcast with Tuan Haji Akhma Ismail. So we have covered segment 1 and 2. Now we are going to go to the third segment, leading in crisis. I think in any turnaround or transformation, leadership is very, very critical. So how important is leadership mindset in a turnaround effort?
Okay. Again, let me just recap. During a turnaround, the management is all over the place. You have breakdown in communication. The trust is nowhere to be found. So leadership is everything. Leadership is everything. If you are a genuine leader, transparent and genuine leader, tendency that will create trust. They probably would not listen to what you say, but they observe your behavior during the office, after the office, during coffee break, after office hour, when they met you, say, at market later on, they will observe you. So the trust coming from that, actually. Not what you say, trust me. No, that's not going to happen. So leadership is everything. In turnaround also, trust, or before trust, I call it buy-in. If you had a buy-in plus a bit of genuine hope, it excites people, and people will follow you, actually. And as far as leadership is concerned, especially in this scenario, because there are leaders who are very aggressive in certain area, but lack in certain area, there are two elements. One element is science. The other element is arts. In dealing with turnaround, I'm going to say in Bahasa Malaysia, you need to beli jiwa. You need to beli jiwa. They have to trust you. They have to like working with you before they support you.
You mentioned about art and also science. I'm confused now. So can you explain a bit more about what art is leadership and what science is leadership is about.
Okay. The science leadership is that this leader, they do not concern much about the emotion of the people. They are working with people, but they're not concerned about the emotion of the people. And if you are in manufacturing, your family manufacturing, they call it 4M. Man, machine, method, material. They only concerned about this. They control the supply of material, they control how people work, they control the process to produce a product. Sometimes they use words like this. I don't care how you do it. I want it to be done. But then again, you are dealing with human. Human has emotion. So you need to put in arts. That's why good leader will combine both. On one side, it teach you how to do it structurally. The other side is that it somehow, bahasa dia, pujuk you. Influence or you so that you follow the activity or rather the direction of the company. If company need to produce certain thing more with a period of time, they will do it. But in reality, from turnaround perspective, it is the art that make it more impact. Because if they like you, if they trust you, they're happy enough to do it, they will do whatever you ask them to do. I'm not talking from theory perspective.
Yeah, thank you, Tuan Haji. I've been thinking about it. In any organization, there's always resistance. And you mentioned about the buy-in.
Yeah.
It's quite a tough job, I think, because at the very beginning, if you want to do things differently, not many will buy that idea. And as you mentioned that, saying that you got to trust me, it's not going to work. So, because there's always a group in denial or they like to cling to the past. And this stubborn group, how do you deal with this? I would call as the hardcore.
The hardcore.
Yeah.
Okay. Resistance or resistance to change is something very common to change itself. HR normally pointed out many times. But then again, it depends on how you approach them. What happened in any, because remember, again, I'm recap back what's happening. Company in chaos, my theory is that every time the company in that position, 65 to 70% of employee, they wanted to work. They want the organization to prosper. There are 30% or 50%, on the fence, another 50% probably the real hardcore, that kind of thing. So this 65, 70%, what I did normally, I do not simply jump, okay, this is a plan, let's do it. No. It's not going to, because the most important thing is the buy-in. For the buy-in to happen, I have the skeleton idea how to do it, but you need to create environment where they can contribute. Because, accept the fact, for example, if you're talking about logistic company, who is the most knowledgeable person in terms of haulaging or the transporting part from one point A to point B? It is the driver. It's the people that in operation. So you have to respect their role. What happens is that I normally group them into, depending on the division, and then I create what they call this brainstorming session. This is what happened from the very beginning. And then the condition, you must invite representative from the lower level. If you have a union, invite union leader. If you have driver, send one representative. They're not going to argue and contribute idea during the session, but they are there. At the end of the day, after the brainstorming completed, you review, they will be invited too. When we finalize a program, normally I do it in the format of a management retreat, they will be invited too. So imagine, you involved in the planning, you involved in the finalizing the planning, don't you want to support your own idea or your own program? You definitely support. So throughout my turnaround, resistance is very minimal, except for the hardcore. But of course, hardcore, if they reach the category of virus, we deal with them separately. Because if you don't kill that virus quick, it will spread. And that's very dangerous. You don't want that to happen.
If I may inject
Sure.
a little bit of theory, because we are academic, that's one theory. They call it as diffusion innovation theory, and it was, introduced by Roger. I've read, if not mistaken, and made popular by Simon Sinek, quite a famous name. And he said that in any organization, there will always be 16% who would oppose anything that you want to do. And Simon Sinek suggested that just ignore this group. Or as you like, we got to deal with them separately.
But if, Dato, if I can quote the famous CEO of GE, I can't remember the name. It is embedded in their system that 5% below, they will somehow dish them out because they want to maintain that 90% of efficient people. That's already in the system. But there was GE, I can't remember, he's a famous CEO of GE. Part of system. Jack
Wells. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Still in segment 3, quickly, what role does company culture play? Because culture is different, especially when you do turn around. You come from outside.
Yeah.
Who the hell is this guy? Join our organization to tell us what to do. So how does that play, either in helping or hindering recovery?
Okay. In any successful organization, culture is the very foundation of successful organization. In fact, culture is a strategic element. You don't have culture, you don't have sustainability. You don't have continuation in terms of producing good product and so on. So, if you to put simply, toxic culture equal to poor performance. Very simple. It's just a matter of time before they collapse. So, in my approach, normally from the very beginning, we start with we embed the strategy into forming a good culture. Yeah, for example, open communication. Some CEOs find that this strategic plan or business plan is very sacred, so they do not share it with the team. But in my case, because the plan, the turnaround itself were generated from their idea, the whole thing will be shared. So I will organize a town hall normally 4 times a year, not just one, some company. Because during the town hall, number one, first town hall, we will share what happened last year. Why the condition is so bad that we need to turn around. So they must know. Because basic principle, a fundamental principle of problem solving, if you do not admit you have a problem, you will not solve that problem. You will allow that to, So you have that. You have that.
Yeah. Thank you, Tuan Haji. Meaning that we need to humble ourselves to admit that there's a mistake. Otherwise, nothing will work. So let's go to the fourth segment. Probably a bit more technical here on strategy, finance, and innovation. Okay, how do you prioritize between cutting costs, increase revenue, and restructuring operation? Or do you have to do those 3 together simultaneously?
Yeah, this is a very interesting question actually. In any turnaround, no doubt, you need to reduce costs. But some corporate organizations, sometimes they use across the board, cost cutting. If you cut costs based on normal additional item, for example, okay, from this year onward, you cannot fly business class. That is okay. But if you say cut cost by 50% or 30%, it's very difficult for you to turn around. So normally, this is where I say when normally corporate people or board got it wrong. In my term, we call it cost rationalization. You still spend, but you spend money that you spend money to generate more revenue, to improve efficiency, to reduce operation costs. But you do not spend money on unnecessary things. No extra anymore until the company is stabilized. In my turnaround, I still promote people. remember what I said earlier, the good people already left. So sometimes out of 20 people, you have 2 or 3 that champion the new group, and they probably come forward, give new ideas, initiate certain things. So these people you probably wanted to push slightly higher, or to promote them, so that the whole reason, so that the crowd or the rest will see, you still trust internal people. Because the problem with perception is that when you come from outside, they thought that you not to say disrespect, but you belittle them to that extent. So you need to do that to indicate that you value their contribution and you promote accordingly to make sure that this thing. Furthermore, if you want to make changes, it is easier if the leader is coming from that, rather than you parachute somebody from. Because some people, when they assign to turn around, they bring a load bus of his team from previous company, which never my principle.
Tuan Haji,
Yeah.
tadi tak Melayu pula. We talk about this hardcore people.
Yeah.
So now let's move to the product and services. Have you ever counted, companies where the core product or service is no longer relevant? What do? Get rid of them or keep them?
Okay, I only have one example because there's no particular product that considered to be irrelevant. But this particular product is still relevant. But then again, the more you produce, the more you lost money because of your efficiency, and then because of the time limit or rather space you have very limited, you have to basically stop the operation. But what happens is that, for example, if you are operating a logistic business, you need to have haulage, long haul, the prime mover, you need to have a small equipment, that kind of thing. But then again, in one of my company, the trucking company is somehow excessively in loss position because of the way they operate. So we need to close down. But what happened to replace that? We outsource until the company is stabilized, and then we can retrain our people with this new SOP, new method of doing it, and then we apply back that business. But within that period of time, when I say period of time, easily 2-3 years, if I'm not mistaken, we have to stop the business altogether, dispose all the assets, and then outsource.
Thank you, Tuan Haji. So is it possible to inject innovation in organizations that are in survival mode?
Or you're going to like this one.
Ah,
I call it a copy-o theory.
FPO.
Copy-o theory. Sometimes when somebody order copy-o, you imagine, okay, very nice glass, saucer, and then you have cup, then you have sugar and everything. But then again, in essence, when somebody say make a copy-o, you just need a drop of water and just coffee powder. That's copy-o. But during science time, you don't have much of resources. So you make do with whatever you have. So innovation is not necessarily coming from high-tech kind of thing. Sometimes within small team, okay, let's do some improvement, for example, efficiency. Draw your flowchart, and you draw your flowchart. And you study, do you really need 6 or 7 stages? Or you just need 4 or 5, take out 2, because this particular stage probably you have somebody who can do both. So those are innovation too. So during trying time, find innovation that costs little money, because of course easy for somebody to say, okay, let's spend 20 million, bring in a new system. Yeah, but then do you have money? You don't have money. So you work with whatever you have. If you're lucky, if you're part of a big group, probably you can ask assistance from your sister company, that kind of thing. But otherwise, you just follow the copy-o theory. If this enough to produce the product to send to the customer, just stick with that for a while until you have extra resources, and then probably you can improve further. The other example is that there was one company I was in. We have a good system, but then again, somehow somebody said it's not efficient, and then somebody from outside say, use this company, system is better. I know that this is costly, but then again, I cannot do much. So I say, freeze our system, IT and the team compare these two. So they took about 2 weeks to make comparison. Apparently, the existing system is much better. The problem is that people are not using it. So because the contract is about to end, then I call the supplier, sorry, the service provider. You retrain my people for minimum cost. Then probably I consider for extension of contract. So we retrain everybody. And then from the retraining also, I say, create 2 champions of the system so that I don't have to refer to you every time. So we have 2 champions and we have retained our people. Then, instead of 8 features we have, we're now using at least 7 features. The other problem with not using the system, sometimes it's purposely done because somebody has other agenda. When invoice did not go through the system, somebody can cook something out of that. That is another problem too.
So probably less, I would say less is more sometimes.
It depends.
Yeah, it depends. So it's time for our second break. 1 minute. Okay. Thank you, Tony.
Hai, nama saya Nur Anika binti Muhammad Fauzi dari Fakulti Seni Bina dan Akademik Universiti Malaysia Kelantan. Perkara menarik yang ada dekat FS ini, kita boleh tengok lecturer kita sangat-sangatlah supporting dan sedia untuk membantu para pelajar. Lepas tu kita punya fasiliti sangat-sangatlah mencukupi untuk pelajar melakukan kerja diorang. Kita punya kelab juga dapat menyediakan event dan trip yang sangat-sangat menarik untuk pelajar dan pensyarah. Cabaran saya sebagai seorang student di FS ini, saya kena menghasilkan banyak design, tetapi dengan ada teknologi dan AI, saya dapat menghasilkan lebih banyak design yang menarik dan kompleks. Ambil kos ni tak susah pun, cuma kalau ada minat semuanya jadi. So korang yang nak join kita dalam Fakulti Seni Bina dan Akademik Universiti Malaysia Kelantan, boleh join kita sekarang.
Good morning. My name is Billy Kang. I'm an auditor and accountant. I am partner in the firm of Billy Kang & Co. And I have been in this profession for the last 30-40 years. The reason that I choose to enroll myself in DBA with UMK is because, number one, it is near the place of my work and my house. And also the emphasis by UMK that it is an entrepreneur-centered university. Because in my line of work, I meet a lot of entrepreneur businessmen. That is why I chose UMK. And I think that with the exposure of further in-depth knowledge of entrepreneurship, I should be able to enhance my businesses and also my interaction with my clients. Now, having graduated from UMK, enhance my interaction with my clients. And now that I know the reason why women excel in businesses in Kelantan, they put me in a very good position to discuss their business issue. The DBA course offered by UMK is actually very interesting because the course content and the lecturers who deliver those courses are experienced. and which is very practical in the business world. Now, with that advanced age, many people would have enjoyed their life with the family and the grandchildren. But I thought I better spend my time more valuable in the pursuit of seeking knowledge. So I don't think anyone should retire from learning and expanding the knowledge. I think knowledge is where we learn until we die. Being a person who likes to read and who likes to seek knowledge, I think DPA or UMK given me the chance to pursue my personal, I would call it hobby. Thank you.
Welcome back and thank you for staying with us. Tuan Haji, you spent 37 years in corporate and 20 years doing hands-on turnaround work. You took a break and now you start your own consulting firm. What made you decide to start the firm?
Right. Basically, the whole idea of having this firm in the beginning is because the fact that when I go through the turnaround experience, observing the people at corporate group level and so on, I noticed many leaders, be they number one or number two at corporate level, when they come to position, not because of the skill or performance or the achievement in the past, sometimes for whatever reason they are there. Because of that, when facing with challenging environment or a challenging situation, they're not able to respond as we expected. They sometimes risk averse. They are not critical in analyzing problem. Sometimes rubber stamp. You can ask me later if you want. There's a big gap between expectation or how he behaved as a leader and he actually behaved. So because of that, sometimes if company really facing challenges, that is fair. But then again, companies, the challenge is not that great, but still they cannot manage well. So because of that, I created a company so that I can offer mentoring service, consultancy services, coaching service or something like that. So I'm hoping that if along the way they hire me, I'm able to work with them so that to close the gap so that they become better future leader. Yeah.
Thank you, Tuan Haji. I also noticed there are many, I've come across that rubber stamper in organization. There are many of them. But anyway, we're not going to go in depth on that. So how is your current work different from your previous hands-on roles as a consultant?
Oh, that was a very straightforward question. If you're a consultant, you used to deal with the problem directly, you solve the problem directly. Suddenly you go there, and then you don't have authority. You have to wait for them, because in turnaround or change management, you need the commitment from the top. If the top did not commit to changes, it's not going to happen. It's just a waste of time, it's a waste of resources. So yeah, the difference is that it's the authority. You can do nothing. You can do analysis and then present the findings, but that's it.
Decision is on them.
Decision is on them. That's why I said earlier. Sorry, Dato. Yeah. The fundamental principle of problem solving, you need to admit you have problem. If you think you have problem but you do not admit, you will not solve the problem.
What kind of clients do you focus more? Startup, SMEs, corporation? Which one do you prefer?
Okay, the whole idea is, because I've been working I retired almost exactly as my retirement age. I was CEO of one company before. The idea is to give back. So normally I will target big organization because the impact to the society, to the country, or to the state is greater. For example, take Alam Fora for example. Before the turnaround, efficiency was very low, place was dirty, or complete image. But after the turnaround, system was in order, staff happy working, their collection system much in order, so produce cleaner city, and so the impact to the society is greater. So that's a very reason. I'm not being cliche or something like that, but yeah, it's time to give back. So normally I select the one that gives the most to the society, because you know what they say, big problem, small problem, big company, small company, it's all the same. So you might as well go for the big organization.
Right, Tuan Haji, you have been the CEO, you have worked with CEOs, many leaders. What's one piece of advice you would give to CEOs or business owners facing tough times?
Okay. Typical problem that leaders or business owners makes that they become emotional. When talking about improving something, put your ego, put your emotion aside. You have to look at whatever issue you have objectively. What was your original objective? Look at objectively. It's like you untangling a fishing line. You know, if you force it, if you rush it, then it will entangle more. So observe, check one by one, untangle one knot at a time, and you'll get out of it. But then again, if the company is yours, and then you probably feel overwhelmed with the problem because of maybe you knew, you may want to seek. I'm not saying it because I'm a consultant, but you get somebody else. You may want to seek external assistant, like advisor, like mentor, or like even consulting company, because yeah, they're going to cost you a bit, not a lot, but a bit. But delaying the solution will cost you much more.
Haji, can I say the key word? You know, you've been talking about listening, etc. Yeah. The key word is empathy. You need to listen more than talk as a leader.
Oh yes, especially, probably I did not mention this in the beginning. Whenever I go to a new place, I am the new guy. Normally it's a new industry. You imagine if I list down three major company, I was from construction background, and then I went to oil and gas. This is earlier, before the RB time. And then I went to Alam Fora, waste management. Then CTRM, aerospace manufacturing industry. Then I go to two logistic companies. So it was different industry all the time. So yeah, empathy is very critical, because otherwise you don't understand what they feel. From that empathy, from understanding how they feel, then you create a solution actually. Whatever I'm sharing with you today is the result of empathy from very beginning, the first time I did the turnaround. How to make you support me, how to make you work with me, for example, how to buy in. By understanding them, or empathy, put yourself in their shoe. Yeah, that's how you start thinking, okay, if I do this, I do this. So yeah, it plays a very important role.
Are there any turnaround principles that apply to personal leadership or even in public institutions? Any particular one?
All of them.
All of them.
But then again, I had a session a couple of weeks back, a 2 hours talk about this. But then again, because this is for the government, they challenged me. They said, private sector, you can entice them with bonus and salary, that kind of thing. But if you are private sector, it's different. If that is true, why is that many of corporate organizations or private entities suffering the same problem as the government? If that is true, because after a while, the money become it's not new anymore. Maybe the first time you receive 3 months bonus is exciting bonus, but After every 3 months, that 3 months almost means nothing. We want 6 months. We want 7 months. It's not impossible, but it does not make much difference anymore. Because at the end of the day, you must find, or the company must, or the organization must create what make you to come to office every day, and how to make sure that you're happy working every day, and how to make sure you're happy going back every day. If you can find these two formula, then we have good organization.
Financial reward may not sustain because it become norm that people are expecting it, you know. Okay, this one question, Mahdi, in particular, you know, to me it's very critical, very important. What mistakes should leaders avoid at all costs when trying to rescue a failing organization? You can take more time to explain this one.
Yeah, I think this is one of the critical question for you CEO out there if you're listening, because I don't think any what I'm going to share with you is something that they teach you in the university. All right, rule number 1: never ever bring your contractor or supplier with you, because the whole thing about turnaround is about trust. The moment you bring in your own contractor, regardless of your family or no family, then you kill trust. When the trust is gone, the turnaround strategy will be all over the place. That's number 1. Number 2, never ever think that you are the smartest person in the room. It's not because there are other smart people. That's probably right too, but that's not important. Go back to the trust earlier. If you say you're the smartest person in the room, you will not have suggestion or idea from your team. You're so smart, do it yourself. You will not get that. You'll not get. But in turnaround, you want the best idea on the table, and it's not necessarily be yours. It's okay. It's okay not to be your idea, but allow your team to contribute. So never assume you are the smartest person in the room. All right. Number 3. This is politicians normally make mistake, but politicians different. This is organization. This is your people. Your people. Sorry. Never blame the previous management, regardless how bad they are. The moment you say, oh, this is the previous management, the old management, no, they will not trust you anymore. Instead, you should focus on what I'm going to do next, the future, the energy of the future. Focus the energy on the future. People will follow you very quickly. The faster you go into that mode, the quicker they will follow you. Because, like I said, trust is everything. No trust, no turnaround. As simple as that. Number 4. Problem do not come in textbooks. You can study your theory or whatever thing you research. Problem is very unique. So whenever you approach a problem, make sure you approach from your industry, your company, your problem at the time. There are tendency, if you're part of the group company, there are tendency the group will impose on you this so-called corporate solution. No such thing. Because if you are a big organization, you're a small company, your small company facing unique problem. Address the problem provide solution according to your problem and your industry and according to the business need. That is the word. Solve problem according to your own business need. All right, that's number 4. Last one. Turnaround. Of course, some people say that you probably mentioned a quick fix, but when you do quick fix, it's not turnaround. Turnaround is about sustainability. So don't rush it. Don't rush it. Don't shortcut. Study one by one, implement one by one. Yeah. Otherwise, it won't sustain. Because at the end of the day, if you turn around today and then next year it go back to the square one, then your turnaround, your strategy probably wrong. Your approach probably wrong. So far, Alhamdulillah, the company I mentioned, until this day, they're making money. They're making good money, actually. So, yeah, because of that. Because when turnaround happen in a manner that it should, people will embrace the changes. They will continue. I have, this is not in the script probably, the question. I have one mentee. He is now CEO of one company. There's few guys joining, some of them I know. They said, when I'm working with this guy, Cik Akhma, I feel that it's you talking. He copy exactly you. But the company is doing very, very well. Very, very well until this day.
So I'm lucky to be your disciple. Okay, one bonus question before we, reach segment 7. I believe you have engaged in academic advisor. One thing about us, academics, we have no problem teaching business model, tools, framework. You name it, innovation strategy, authors, etc. But not many are able to relate to the real world. There's always a gap between the theory that we teach and what we practice in the real world. What is your advice? Short one.
Okay, I believe theory is necessary. I like to believe I'm not a person with MBA that really practice the MBA, really live the MBA. The gap also equally important. I was advisor to a few other universities before when I was active as CEO. I guess academician or in university need to engage with the industry more so that the gap is smaller. It's always been the issue, the gap between what been taught in university and then what actually expected of the market. So I believe if you engage in the sense that whether you hire them working in university as advisor, whatever thing, or you, in the case of MGSEB, mouthful, you probably wanted to, part of program to work with institution, probably a real problem solving, something like that. So that, and then not just student, probably lecturer too, engage with them, that kind of, so that you can bridge between, like I said, the what been taught in university and then what expected of the market from the graduates later on. Yeah.
So Haji, we have reached our last segment, the rapid fire questions. Are you ready?
Sure.
Okay, first, turn around in one word.
Trust.
A book that shaped your thinking.
It's not a book because it's not that I don't like read books. I read books, but it is a real life experience. I practice it from the empathy you mentioned earlier, because I try to internalize what they need, how to do it. But later, after few turns, I discover the term is servant leadership. Servant leadership.
The third one, most underrated leadership trait.
In this session, normally people would say humility, but I don't think so. It's consistency, especially in communication.
Consistency in communication. One thing you always carry with you. You don't have a briefcase, so anything.
No, these days, very useful.
All right. So, Tuan Haji, thank you so much for such an enlightening and inspiring conversation. Your journey reminds us that true leadership is tested in time of crisis. And it is in those moments that purpose, courage, and wisdom matter most.
Yeah.
To our listeners, thank you for joining us on this very first episode of Voices of MGSEB. We hope today's discussion sparked ideas, offered perspective, and maybe even lit a fire for those facing their own turning points. So don't forget to subscribe, share, and stay tuned as we continue to bring you voices that shape business, leadership, and education. Here at MGSEB and beyond, I'm Prof. Azizi, and this has been Voices of MGSEB. Until next time, take care and keep leading with heart and purpose. Terima kasih.
Thank you.